tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I love this song so much that every time I watch the show, like no joke, I was watching it last night, headphones on, singing it at the top. I don't know how you sing this. It's not really, it doesn't have words. I'm like, dun, dun, like
all
a crazy
the sounds
person.
are coming
Like a crazy person. I love it so much. Hey, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another Black Sails After Show. Tonight we are talking Season 3, Episode 7, XXV, or 25. I'm Lauren Salaun, and you can find me all over the internet at Lauren Salaun, and I'm joined tonight by Nadine.
Hello. You can find me all over the interwebs, as you guys call it, at Nadine DP and the number 3.
Awesome, and Keetin will be joining us soon. But we're so excited to be back here talking this episode. And before we dive into it, want to make sure you guys are all subscribed to us on YouTube, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, where you can also watch live with us right now and talk to us in the chat. You can also find all of our weekly after shows, including this one and all the others that we do and everyone else does, on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. And leave us a 5-star rating and a nice little review in iTunes while you're at it. All right, so initial feelings about this weekend's episode.
Yeah.
I felt like there was not very much action. There was so much talking and
I feel like it's dragging on too much. We've been saying that there's been a build-up this whole season for this big fight, but I feel like it's been too long of a build-up now.
Yeah,
now it's just like, all right, we're in episode too long. I was bored a little bit, I will say. I mean, I can never get too bored watching it because there are these exciting little moments we see here and there, but I mean, it was just like, okay, come on, give me something big, give me something crazy.
Exactly,
I'm missing it right now in my life. I'm missing this Black Sails pirate craziness. So.
Right, we've been having a lot of talk about the British and the Spanish and all this huge fight that's coming. I completely agree, and not seeing it, but I think next week we'll probably
hopefully.
See it.
I mean, we keep saying that. Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
You know?
So yeah, I think we had a lot of talking and not as much action as I would have liked. So it felt a little slow this week, but I usually when the end credits start, I'm like, oh, what?
Heart is racing, sweat's coming down.
And this week I was like, wait, that was the big dun-dun ending?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I think we'll get to it. I mean, I wasn't disappointed by any means, but I feel like this season has been incredible so far and just so exciting. And even in the episodes that have been slower and kind of more political, if you will, they've been very interesting.
Yeah.
And where this week's episode, the pirates even all agreed with each other. Like, there wasn't even any internal, dysfunction.
I figured if, Flint and Vane are coming back to the island, this is their first time kind of there. I get that they're in the shadows still a little bit. You would think, though, that, Silver's scene was the scene, we'll talk about that later, that was, I think, the craziest scene from the whole episode, I would say. Yes. The most intense. But, I mean, besides that, all these pirates are coming back, and it was just blah. And even the interaction, I think, between Woods and Flint, I mean, it was intense, it was strong, but I would have liked a little bit more from that even as well.
Yeah, a little more kind of...
I don't know, a little bit more crazy, but we'll get our crazy, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh, we'll get our crazy. I bet. So we open up with Max going to meet Anne, pretty much, and tell her that they are essentially torturing Jack, unless she gives them the gold, and the gems and stuff, and thinking that this is going to get Anne to go along with what they're doing. And I just thought, Max in this episode frustrated me a little bit because she used to be on the pirates' side, and now she's
one of them. Yeah,
she's siding with the governor and Eleanor, which I feel like is. I don't like that.
It's just typical what I've been saying. She's trying so much, I think, to be like Eleanor. So, now she's on Eleanor's side in a sense, too. But we do see a little bit of her character sort of change, I think, through it, when she realizes basically what's going to happen possibly to Jack, that Jack may possibly die. Well, yeah,
because she kind of gets played through it all.
She's going to get played, and then I think she has the realization that, like, oh my gosh. And when the whole scene between her, we'll talk about her and Eleanor with the whole chair, about how she's like, I don't even want this position anymore, clearly. And I think she's starting to realize, what have I done type deal. Like, this isn't what I wanted, but I've just created my own monster in a sense.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it's funny because Max has always been pretty conniving and self-serving and has gone behind other people's backs plenty of times. And so I think she's a little surprised when she's like, wait, but you gave me your word, thinking...
That means something.
Did she really believe that was going to happen? Eleanor was also surprised by it, too. Both of those women thought that Jack was going to be left out of it because that's what the agreement had been. But I feel like they should know better that this kind of stuff changes on a dime.
And you're dealing with the Spanish here, too. And it's not like they're really on the island and they don't really have someone you can really sit and talk to. It's all like kind of going through the chambermaid still. Like, she's still the liaison between all of this, which I find to be kind of interesting. Yes, it's her and then that guy she speaks with.
Right. So I almost wonder why somebody's not keeping... I get that Woods and Eleanor know why she's going along with it because they threatened her children. But why isn't somebody keeping better tabs on her?
And who she's talking to and what she's doing. Because she was just sitting there reading the book and just having a like anyone can be around there and hear what's going on there. But yeah, I just think that it was a thing where it's no one's fault for what happened with the whole Jack situation. That Jack is now in the middle. I don't blame anyone because no one knew. Woods didn't even want that to happen.
Right.
Woods, we see him being a very peaceful guy, really just wanting, to not have the Spanish come and kill him, and he wants to make Nassau sort of a colony for the British that they can control and everyone can have peace at. And so it's not his intention to kill Jack. He doesn't want Jack dead. No one wants Jack dead, and we don't want Jack dead.
Right.
Like, come on.
It makes me so nervous. Yeah. So I loved Jack's discussion with Woods about their whole ploy to get Anne on, to go along with that plan. I thought it was so... Just that speech that he gave was so powerful. He's like, how do you have a wife? And how would you think that she would react, knowing that, thinking that somebody's torturing her husband to get information, like this whole convoluted plot. And then he's like, and then to figure out that it was all just some ruse and none of that was happening. And she did that all for nothing, you know? And that was so powerful. And now, magically, we have Keetin here.
Hi, Keetin. Hey, girl.
Hi, guys. Oh, so sorry my work ran late.
Want to talk about pirates?
You know what? I am so fresh off that episode, and I'm dying. Like, I literally just watched the last 2 episodes back to back, and this show just keeps getting better. It's so good. Right? It's so good. Where are you guys now?
We just dove in. We said some initial feelings. I felt like this. We both actually felt like this episode, the most recent one, was a little slow, a lot of talking, not as much action.
A lot of politics this episode. Yeah.
But less like a lot of politics, and we've seen slower episodes where the dialogue and all the political stuff has been very interesting and kind of cutthroat without literally cutting throats. But this one felt a little slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were really had gotten into Max, Eleanor, Rogers, Jack dynamic.
Well, we finally got the bow chicka wow wow.
Oh, we did. Which I find it so interesting that because we talked a little bit about how Max has a little moment of her own later, but they're being much more sparing with the sex scenes.
Yes, they're being very PC about it, and I felt like it used to just kind of be it used to be very Game of Thrones-esque, where I felt like the sex was thrown in there for a lot of shock value, like intermixed obviously with the violence and stuff, but then the sex would be so kind of whoa. It would shock you just as much as violence would. But yeah, it was kind of really...
I'm like, we didn't get any shots of that girl on girl, and none of the, like, the Rogers
I know, we
and
just got a little floor play, but that's it.
I think they're trying to show how intimate it was between Rogers and Eleanor. You know what I mean? That it wasn't just, like, a one-night stand sex type
we've
deal.
Had
you know,
those, like, intimate relatitions where we see the sex, too.
But this is the thing. I don't feel like they...
Guys, if you guys want to see something, there's other side.
No, but this is the thing that I never thought like Rogers and Eleanor's relationship was that intimate. So like I guess they're maybe trying to tell us something by portraying the sex scene that way, or it's just the actors are like, yo, we don't want to do that anymore.
I almost feel like the actors are like, you know, do we have to be naked so much?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, I just want to give you my booty. Well, we got 2 butts.
We got some booty.
Butts.
We got some booty. Great.
So sorry, just to throw that in here. I get it. I'm like, let's talk about sex, guys.
Hey, no, that is fine. So Max ends up like that moment. Well, Eleanor and Roger's little situation comes after Max pretty much suggests to her, like, you are in a very potentially valuable and influential position right now, being his, like, able to influence him that way. And he looks up to you and relies on you. And I hear it from the men, like, there's whispers of this, like, and I don't know, one, how long he's going to be okay, like, hearing chatter about this relationship without it making him feel insecure or something, or shutting it down, or how long she'll be in that position to kind of help navigate how things are going. And so Max kind of puts that bug in her ear to be like, use this more than you are.
Well, that's why I was confused as for if it was actually, like, what Eleanor was doing was genuine. Because I was very confused that whole scene, especially after they were done, you know, doing the nasty, if what she was saying in bed, and, like, how she was basically like, I want to be a different person, I want to change. I never know with Eleanor if she's, like, being real or not with what she's saying, or if she has, like, this backstory, this back plan, you know,
I honestly,
in her head. So.
I think that was Max being like, lady, use what you got. You have to stay in control of this, because he's only going to let you be in his ear without, you know, getting some type of satisfaction from you other than information for so long. Yeah. And I think that is the businesswoman in Max talking, the former prostitute in Max talking. Yes. Max knows how to manipulate people. And so does Eleanor to a certain extent, but Eleanor, I feel like she's kind of gotten lost
she's in such a different position.
She's in such a different position.
Not in a power position, really.
But Max
anymore.
also has learned how to use sex to her advantage. That's, like, sort of what she was kind of brought up with doing.
Yeah, and I think that's what she was kind of telling Eleanor. Use, like, you're a woman, use it to your advantage so you stay in power. Yeah. Keep control over this man more than just, like, in front of other people. Keep it behind closed doors, too.
Oh, I think she's totally playing Rogers.
Oh, absolutely.
Because in the before she even goes into the room, before they have sex, she passes one of his guards and, like, kind of makes sure that the guard sees her going there. And I was like, all right, girl, so you're making sure people know about this.
I want my word to mean something.
But I think it also
baloney.
Like, even but I think this is by making herself known to the guards, I think it takes pressure off of Rogers as well to have, like, for his men to, like, feel like, oh, he's just being kind of, like, dragged around by this woman. Oh no, but he's also getting some from her. So now we understand why he's, like, letting her be in his ear. Yeah. So I think she's doing that on purpose to protect him and to protect herself.
Yeah, or they could take it the other way and be like, oh, well, he's, like, getting swindled by her lady parts.
He's too clouded. Yeah. Like, he's not, like, our leader that we need.
Swindled by her lady parts.
That was a great line.
I really like that.
That was a great line.
Hashtag swindled by her lady parts.
Really great.
But the interaction, though, between Max and Eleanor, that scene with them in that powerful room where both of them had made all these decisions in.
The chair.
And her discussing the chair. That it was the biggest symbol, I think, of the episode, was just that chair. And I love because, as we saw a few episodes ago about how Max was basically describing herself as different than Eleanor. She wasn't stabbing people behind their backs. She was doing everything in the right way. She had all these allies, et cetera, et cetera. And now she's like, wow, I get it. Like, I get it, girl. Sorry, I kind of, threw those jabs at you in a sense.
Well, and if we go back to season 1, I mean, when Max was at her lowest point, she ripped Eleanor a new one. Like, she did. And so So it's kind of nice to see these two girls playing nice again. Not obviously as nice as they used to play together. But yeah, I like to see kind of they both understand each other fully now, and they're like, there's no other way but to be in this together because we are two women in a man's world. Let's work. Let's watch each other's backs. I don't have to like you, but I have to work with you.
Right, exactly. So I like that as well, in that they're kind of like, not rekindling things, but they're, rebuilding that bridge.
Yeah, and when Max was talking all about the chair, Eleanor didn't really say much. Eleanor was kind of a little bit more passive, a little bit more silent about it, I felt like, too. Just basically like, yeah, girl, like, now you get it, you see, okay, all right, we can move on, as long as you recognize
Eleanor
it.
has been a lot quieter the last few episodes.
Yes.
She's been in a lot of scenes, but she's very rarely had anything to say. And
she's plotting something.
I don't know. I'm very curious to see. We see her thinking a lot, but we also, I think that's why it was so important when we saw her speak in bed with Rogers and what she said to him in there. So I don't know, Eleanor.
I like her not
but we
being
have
so
Vane
quick
is back on the island though now. I don't know. I feel like next week's episode. We're gonna have a little run-in.
Whenever they come face to face with one another, it's gonna be so interesting.
I don't even know what's gonna happen. Either they're gonna jump each other's bones or put a sword in each other's throats.
I think one of them is not going to survive that encounter.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's not go there.
We'll save that for later.
I did think it was very interesting. I mean, we saw several times, Wood's men are starting to get sick. They're getting stuff. Obviously, they're coming to a new place with diseases and illnesses they haven't been exposed to. So a bunch of guys are getting sick. He said 8 men have died. And when he's with Eleanor, like at first when I was watching it and he's talking about it, he's like, oh, except for her. I'm like, oh, he likes her. She's different. And then I was like, wait, no, that's not what he's talking about at all. Except for her means she's not going to get sick because she's a pirate girl, basically. And she's from there.
She's immune. She's immune to all of it. Yeah.
And so she's not really on my side. I thought that was very interesting. Like, I liked how they wove that in there
I think it's also of him being like, I'm susceptible to this disease and you're not. Gives her a one-up on him. He could die. He's vulnerable. She's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in addition to just the disease, that she knows this place and he doesn't. So, she might always have some tricks up her sleeves.
Oh, Eleanor. At least I like her better this season.
Me too.
Like, this is the thing. Like,
because you guys are little haters on Miss Eleanor before. That's why you guys like her, because she's been more quiet this season.
Well, because I didn't like her because she's always so impulsive and she would never think before saying stupid crap or doing stupid crap. And so now I feel like she's more reserved because she's in this very unfamiliar position and doesn't know what the H to do. And so her being able to take some guidance from Max and actually listen to it, I like seeing her be a little bit more though. I guess.
Okay. Yeah, listening. Yeah, I think this is a big. She's a big girl now. She's growing up. She's listening. Yay!
Great job, Eleanor.
Because she's not really in charge. I think that's why too.
Yeah.
She's like the right hand man to someone. She's not the leader.
But barely.
When she was always.
And she only has one person on her side.
Yeah.
She only has Rogers to protect her.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy.
Everyone wants to kill her.
And he's already like, well, you're not one of me. We're different. So, oh gosh.
She's on a very
Eleanor.
precarious situation, that girl. So let's talk about Flint, Vane, the Queen, the crew, all of them.
Our boys.
So Flint has a discussion with the Queen, and I really like the Queen. I love how strong and powerful she is. And basically, they decide, okay, well, Flint convinces her essentially to, okay, we need to get Rogers into a fight, to engage in a fight with us to, get him. That's what we need to do in order to win this and to, win this, start this whole battle and get everything.
Can I just make a comment about that speech and that scene and how that island is where they're going to bring the fight to? Treasure Island. They're going to bring the jewels there to lure the men there. That Rogers will be defeated. The position of that island will go unknown, kind of documented, and that will become Treasure Island.
That's what we've been talking about before.
So we were right. That is Treasure Island. Did I just blow your mind?
A little bit.
Treasure Island.
Thank you, girl. Thank you.
And so then, and Vane, well, we'll get to Vane later, but Silver and Bones, and I thought this was interesting because Bones for a while, Bones and Silver had been kind of playing our like angel and devil, I feel like, on opposite sides. Like Bones was always disagreeing with kind of the plan that was going on, and they, you know, were reasoning with each other, but Bones is like completely on board with the plan, and it was actually his idea to go back and talk with all the pirates who had accepted pardons and have Silver be the one to address them. That scene was nutso.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But I agree with Billy not wanting Flint to go there. Flint couldn't go there. You can't just have the most notorious pirate captain just walk into a tavern full of unknown pirates and be like, hey, come join my crew.
Right.
Like,
and there's so much more mystique if it's
so
someone
true.
else going and they're like, wait, nobody's dead.
And I don't know, you guys. I at first was like, oh yeah, this is a good plan, but no, it wasn't a good plan. Flint got outdone. Like, Flint should have been there and should have made himself known because, yes, he was just a ghost that nobody believed, and so Rogers could get 2 steps ahead of him, and now he's screwed. Like, now all the men that he could have gotten had he shown face and like really did instill fear, like, people would have shown up. But he didn't, so Rogers was able to control the situation.
But there's also so much risk with him showing up there, too. Like, you have to take into account if Flint also comes on, there could all of a sudden spark a huge battle that this is not what they want.
There were not enough people awake at that point.
But you never know what could have happened, you know? Like, with the soldiers, the British soldiers, whatever could have transpired. I just think it was better for him to stay safe, stay back, and follow the plan a little bit more. So, and they're going to get their men. A fight's going to come.
They will.
Something's going to happen. We don't know
He'll have some kick-ass speech or something.
He'll get his people. He'll get his men.
I'm just saying, I think he got one-upped. He got played.
Yeah, but Silver going in there, like what he was saying, obviously, like if everyone's like, oh no, Flint's dead, you'd think they're using it just to like scare them, you know, that it's an empty lie, essentially. And then of course, like Weasley little Dufresne comes out of the shadows. They're like, oh no, you know, whatever he said. And
got his face stuffed in!
Oh my! I'm so happy that happened. I've hated that character since day one. I just did not like him. But the way that it went down, I couldn't look at the screen. Like when that happened, I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
well,
it was aggressive.
Show anything. It was
they showed like the first
the sound though.
They showed a first like stomp, and then it's like all just like guts on him,
like that.
Yeah, it was mostly the noise, but. John Silver, I think we've seen, especially with this, we've seen his character have a full transformation at this point. He is full pirate. As much as he tried to fight it for almost three seasons, 2.5 seasons, he is now full pirate. He killed his first killed his first man. It's obviously affecting him because of the type of person he is, but we even saw in his conversation with Flint how he kind of liked it.
Well, and even, I mean, with that transformation, exactly, like you said, we've been seeing this, like, seeing it coming, and it is solidified here, you know, in this weekend's episode, and he literally says it, too, like, my name's John Silver, and I've got a long bleeping memory, you know? And
that was my favorite line. I loved it. It sent like chills up my spine. Like it was incredible.
So
I love John Silver.
He got his BA card. He got his badass card, his membership.
He's a BAMF.
You know? Yes. There you go. That's it.
And exactly. Talking with Flint after it, he's like, you know, this transition into the dark side, like, there's something surprising about, you know, becoming a bad guy, essentially, like, how good it feels.
Well, I mean, he needed that little, like, that little kick. Dufresne was just, like, calling him, like, a half man and, like, every type of horrible thing he could. So
it's like, man sends half a man.
Right? Like, buddy, you deserve to get your head a little bashed in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He also is getting a little cockiness because he's got a little lady friend now.
Yeah,
so
he's trying to impress.
He might be missing a leg, but he's got a lot more than a lot of those other men.
Yeah, because when they were leaving, she asked him basically like, so what's going on? How'd it go? He goes, we're going. Just come on, let's go, basically. Like, no worries, honey. Like, I didn't just kill a guy with my leg. Come on, follow me. Like,
it does kind of bother me, though, that, like, obviously, I feel like it's more realistic for him to have the leg he does have. But in Treasure Island, it's a peg leg. It's a wooden leg. It's not.
It's harder to smash a brain in with a peg leg.
I'm just saying. I just think, you know, it's cool and it's kind of a you know, badass peg leg, but you know, it's
more industrial.
I imagine, it's more like steampunk-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I think it's telling that none of the other men there even like stood up, you know, did anything when that was happening.
Well, because I mean, this
he's
is
not
the
messing
thing.
around.
Long John Silver. I mean, John Silver. His reputation amongst the men has always kind of been like the fun guy, the friend. He has always been the friend, the one that will always look out for the crew before anybody else.
Jokester, storyteller.
Exactly. And that's how he got in with the men. So like people believe him and people like him. He is the only like. His likability has kept Flint alive for a very long time at this point. So for him to like, now he's going to get some type of reputation of like, not only am I, like, I can be your friend, but I can also be your worst enemy. Yeah. I'm so excited for him to take more of a leadership role now that he's kind of going to the dark side.
Right, and because sometimes him as the comic relief felt a little misplaced during like the more serious episodes, because we would really only see that side of him. That was kind of more in season 1, a bit in season 2, but it's nice to now see him as a much more dimensional character.
Yeah, well, because with all this talking that's been happening, all these episodes, you can't just have this comedian, like you're saying, you know?
Right.
You have to see a little bit more of his personality. So, yeah, I'm liking it. I love that he's a
John Silver.
bad. Yeah, you love him a little bit more now? You love him more now?
No,
I mean... That he's a murderer?
He's a little, I mean, I understand he's going to the dark side. He's getting all tough and scruff for the dark side, and he's getting older, but like, I loved cute, fresh-faced John Silver from season 1. Yeah. I do miss him. I love the charm. I loved the...
Just cooking on the ship.
Just a silly dude. Out. I miss him a little bit, but I'm glad he's becoming strong again.
Right.
And he's powering through kind of the super low points he's been in for most of this season.
Yeah.
So.
And I hope we see that more fun side come back as he kind of becomes okay with who he's transitioning into.
What,
you know, and
yeah.
with
Well,
the
they're in a scary situation right now. Like,
Yeah.
they're on brink of war. So
I think they're going to be laughing anytime soon.
Yeah.
But maybe, hopefully.
Well, like we
Hopefully.
see that, like, because he's been a little depressed lately too.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're missing a leg.
When you lose a leg, it sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, and you're not taking care of it properly or at all. Not even properly. Not even just dealing with it. Poor boy.
Yeah.
Poor boy.
Anyhow, gross. Okay.
Can I do a quick shout out to people in the chat room?
Oh yeah, you can.
Let's see. We got Ted, or it's TDCR, Michael LaRoque. Lauren's in the chat room.
Hey guys.
Hey Lauren. Who else? Mikey keeps freezing. Anyways, thank you guys for watching so much. They said there's more, but not many people are mentioning it or
It's okay.
talking right now. It's fine.
we talk?
But also, you guys. I know I've been gone
After that
for 2 weeks.
Brain stomping
So I'm sure
conversation.
you've missed me talking about my favorite thing, Blue Apron. It's so good.
Peg legs, stomping heads make you hungry.
yeah.
It does make me hungry. Yum. I'm sure you all have that by now gone out and gotten a Blue Apron subscription yourself, but you know that you can also give it as a gift. So imagine how happy people would be if, you know, you basically got food delivered to them and then you're like, hey, have fun cooking it.
I've literally gotten Blue Apron as a gift from somebody.
Really?
Yes,
Was it for
I
your
have.
wedding?
Yeah. No, it was. What was it for? I don't know.
Yeah.
Christmas?
Did you love it?
I still haven't ordered. I still haven't gotten it delivered.
Okay, well,
you're
you
going
should,
to.
and we can have to. Yeah,
I'm very
you're
excited
going
about
to.
redeeming that gift.
you guys, it literally, you get to make amazing meals at your home. Everything is delivered to you for only like $10 a meal. It feeds 4 people. It can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. It's really, really awesome. It's really, really good food, and it's really healthy. So there's nothing, I can't think of anything bad about this.
Makes
because
cooking easy.
It does, and I hate going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to worry about, wasting
Saves
gas
you a
and
trip
stuff.
to the grocery store. You don't
Yeah.
have all this leftover extra stuff.
Dealing with lines.
Get everything you need
shopping
just to
carts.
make those meals.
Well, and by watching AfterBuzz, you guys can get your first 2 meals for free at blueapron.com/podcast. And yeah, so make sure you check it out and tell us, let us know what is your first meal or your first 2 meals, and let us know how they turned out. And yeah, we'll do that too.
We'll share recipes.
Ooh, we should all try something different
Yeah.
We should.
and then discuss
And report back.
Yes.
Bring in a little
Black
taste test
Sails
here.
and dinner cooking show. No, just kidding. Pirates and cooking. No.
Pirates
anyway,
and cooking.
Anyway, so Flint and Rogers end up having their cute little beachside meeting, which I thought was so funny that they set up this whole like table and like
And he had wine.
like awning thing, like curtain, like all that silliness.
He's the governor of Nassau. Come
Right?
on.
I thought this was I thought this was shot so beautifully. I don't know who the DP was on this episode. I should look it up. But this scene was just so well done. So well done. And it made me like love both the characters so much more than I like did before, and just how they interacted with each other. And it was so pompous oh gosh, it was just so good, and I loved that Captain Flint was taken off guard.
Yes,
because it's very rare that Flint is thrown off guard by somebody, and for him to be thrown off guard and kind of like it felt like the game of chess and check.
Well, yeah, because
Like-
it seems like they're both kind of in the same type of position, but they're just on different teams. They're just playing different types of sides of it, the two of them. And so it's like they're leading. And I loved that we saw Woods kind of changing. Because Woods has, like we were talking about earlier, Woods always wanted the peace and stuff. And now he's like, all right, Flint, really? You're actually
yeah, he's
here?
like, if you want me to
actually
be,
come in?
yeah, and you want me to be your villain, like,
I will
I'll
be aggressive.
a bad guy then.
Oh yeah, I'll be that aggressive man if you want. And he's like, all right, pardons are gone now. Pardons mean nothing. It's a whole new world now.
Yeah, well,
crazy.
the pardons are still like people who have been pardoned are okay, but if anyone
else
does
type deal.
pirate business,
Yeah, basically saying Flint, you're not
Pardons.
getting a pardon type deal.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he offered him one, and Flint told him no.
yeah, so it's like not anymore.
It's a new game now, and now that Flint is alive and not dead, and yeah, no men showed up on that beach, guys.
Yeah.
Not one man did.
It's. I know.
This is scary.
I know.
I'm just waiting for Blackbeard and his crew to show
Right?
up. I was waiting for them to their ship to come along the horizon.
You think Blackbeard's gonna come back into this?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think he's going to have to.
yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's gonna protect his child, come back for his little baby.
no,
Vane.
it's not going to be for Vane.
For
It's
the
going to be
sake
for the
of
sake of
piracy.
piracy.
Okay. Wow. It really is
Get
gonna
out
be
of my
for that.
head.
Great or good,
Ah,
the pirate life.
for the sake of the booty.
But that scene though, it was beautiful. I really just wanted to go and pull up a chair next to Woods and just sit and look at the ocean, have a glass of wine. I was like, this looks great right now.
Hey man, hey guys.
Yeah, right?
You guys, between these two sexy,
It was
powerful
awesome.
men.
Oh, I loved it. The set design on that was great. It was.
It was just
So
really
it's just nature. It wasn't much to do there, but it's just a beautiful place
South
that they chose.
Africa in Cape Town is so gorgeous, and I mean, I'm loving seeing these interior kind of shots of where like Anne is and stuff, which we haven't really talked about Anne and her deal with Rackham and being betrayed.
Yes, we touched on that a little bit.
Oh,
Did I miss
Just
that?
a little
I'm
bit in the
so
beginning.
sorry.
No, but just how talking about like that scene with Jack and Woods in the very beginning, like what he was saying to him was so.
It was beautifully written.
I loved that. Yeah, beautifully written. Like you have a wife. Okay, how do you think she would react to? And then lays out like the whole situation.
Woods has a
yeah,
wife,
that
and
too.
then he like, and then in the same episode we find out he has a wife,
And then
he
he-
sleeps with Eleanor. What?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see a ring on his finger. Maybe that wasn't a
know.
thing back then. But
Or maybe he's
And
just
if he's
saying
going
he
to
has
colonize
them,
like a whole new world, like don't you bring your wife with you? I don't know how
Yeah.
like it works back when you're settling new territories.
See, none of that surprises me though about wife and cheating and
No,
the sex
I was
and
like,
the pirates.
oh, whatever.
It's just like
Bummer.
I'm so conditioned. Like, all right,
says the
cool.
married woman on our panel.
That's what happens when your man goes on business, doing each other.
No. Well, like across the world. I mean, back then I feel like
Yeah, I mean,
it was much more of a strategic business union than like.
or he
you
could
know.
just be saying that too. You never like. I also don't believe a lot of things that come out. He could also just be saying that to Jack for whatever
fat
reason,
liar.
just to maybe get a rouse out of him or just to not be perceived as someone that's not wanted in society. I don't know. You never really know.
Yeah.
The reason why we didn't know anything about the wife, but
Right. And meanwhile, Vane is. I loved how much Vane wants to save Jack.
I know,
It's so cute. They're such buddies.
Get out of my head.
Yeah.
can I just say I love this? That I predicted this last week. I was saying that Vane is gonna come and somehow find Anne and gonna like kind of rescue her in a sense. And then all of a sudden at the end when he just pops up behind her, I was like, I got this.
Yeah.
And I'm
He
doing
like kind of escapes from the
Doing
shadows.
it,
It's
yeah.
like, hello.
Vane,
Right.
Vane.
Well, yeah, because and he's working to try and figure out like where is this exchange going to be, all this stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
so I'm so happy that he ended up finding Anne for, he was a part of that, because I was so hurting. Like when before he made himself, known there, I'm like, oh my gosh, Anne.
Like, poor babe.
Her heart is breaking. She's so stressed. She doesn't know what to do. But had Vane not been a part of it and been like, here's part of the plan, go along with it, it's okay, I'm sure she would have gone crazy. Like, she would have ended up dying in that situation if
there was a right point.
Yeah. Anne's a good little actress. Can we just say that? She's a very good actress, like playing off like, oh, Jack, he's not in there? What? Like, she did great with that. So I'm very proud of her.
Yeah, had she not been a little, in the know of what was going on, she for sure would have gone.
She's a Burberry model, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm talking about Anne actually.
No,
Anne the pirate.
And the pirate is a good actress. But she's also a good actress, the real actress. So, anyway.
But yeah, there's no way if she had not known anything that was, there wasn't a plan to that, she would have gone down.
She would have died for that. She would have died for Jack. She would die for that, for the just
killed
too prideful.
Two of them.
Too prideful to let them do that, to kind of, stab her.
But I was, oh gosh, my heart broke for her when we thought it was for real. Then I was like, no, she's so sad. It's not true.
I know.
Yeah.
She thinks Rackham is going to be bye-bye. But
I know. But it is also so sweet. Like, I love their relationship because it's also been like a weird, yes, there's a physical and like intimate part to it, but it's also such like a deep friendship and respect and love for
they
one
grew up
another.
together.
And that trumps any of that other, sexual type attraction, a part of that aspect of their relationship.
Right. And I just love it from both sides,
Oh, yeah.
I love their little relationship.
Well, the fact that he can write on a note and, like, she can understand it. The code. Like, that scene from last episode is still just, like, it's just awesome, It's just,
and,
it's beautiful.
and it's also nice because Max is still looking out for them both. Mm-hmm. Which, who knew? Who knew that little threesome would still be kicking?
Still loves them.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Max.
Yeah, so, and the whole point of that, Vane says, like, the governor has everything he needs, and he doesn't think anything, he thinks everything's going along as planned with his own plan, and so now we can, like, slip in and intercept things, and, like, we now have the upper hand back, essentially. So, and Anne says it perfectly, okay, either so from here on out we either get Jack and all the treasure basically, or nothing and Jack dies.
Yeah.
So.
And she's like, guys, and it's not just like a pirate dying. Like, this is like my world.
Yeah, this is Jack.
Yeah, this is Jack. This is my world that's going to be crushed if anything ever happens.
Because I want it all, nothing. I just want Vane to start singing.
To rip his shirt off and start singing that.
Yeah, we haven't gotten a shirtless Vane, although we did get a shirtless Blackbeard last week's episode.
Which I'm sorry to say, it did kind of make me lose my crush on Blackbeard.
Yeah.
I was like, thought he was like,
I mean, what did you think was under there? A six-pack? Like,
no.
Yeah, what did you think was
I
under
know
there?
that. I had like...
like, he's a big boy. Like,
No, I know, but he was like such a badass that it was like, I was like, yeah, he's cool, And there was like that Blackbeard swagger, and then I was like, less cool, Dad bod. Sorry, Ray.
Dad.
No,
I know you're acting as Blackbeard. I know it's
I
not
thought
true.
what made him less cool, and I don't know if you guys talked about this last week.
His bum heart. No.
No, whoa. Do you guys, first of all, think that Flint meant to miss and not like shoot him full on, or just like clip him? Do you think he meant to do that?
No.
You think he wanted to kill him?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like, Flint was very, like, he needed that. He needed those men. He needed people, and...
Yeah, because I don't know. Like, is Flint that good with a gun in a duel situation to be like,
those guns back then
I'm going to shoot him
too.
slightly on the eyebrow?
Yeah, well, because it was like after they shot each other, they still had to fight with the swords. So if he thought he was going to be able to kill Blackbeard with a sword, or like, just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he wanted to kill him first.
Yeah,
I would
I think
rather
he
shoot a
wanted
guy instead of having to be like, all right, now I'm going to get
sword fight him?
slashed and stuff,
Yeah.
and who knows what's going to come of this. So
Sword fight this guy that weighs like 50 pounds more than
Dad
me,
bod.
and
triple my
5 inches
size.
higher than taller than me.
I'd rather just shoot him in the head, get it over with.
Me too.
So,
I do duels.
Sorry, I was just curious because I just
I
watched
think
those
so.
two episodes back to back.
Yeah.
I felt like the episode before this episode was, I think, the best of the season.
I loved it.
It was awesome.
It had every little bit of something I wanted.
it was high energy.
Yeah, it was great. But But yeah, this episode was good. And how many? We have 3 left?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Can you
So
believe we have
quickly
only 3
already.
left? I know.
Sad.
So. And it's going to be action-packed, I think. Well, I think we're done, like, kind of with this episode. So let's talk about predictions.
Dun, 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 dun.
Prediction music? Anybody? No? Do we make it ourselves? Okay. Predictions. Here we go. Okay. So, in the sneak peek for next week, we finally, whoa, that was a lot of rhyming. We finally see, I believe, Spain come into the picture, right? Mm-hmm. I believe we see some Spain. There's a lot of chasing, a lot going on in next week's promo. And
it was really quick promo. It was just very
It was short. It did feel short to me.
It's like, what's going on? I felt like I wanted to watch it again.
I didn't really get completely what was happening.
Going on there,
But, I mean, oh gosh, I don't know if I have like too many huge predictions.
That's how I feel too. It's.
I mean, Jack's being transported. I'm very nervous, you guys, that maybe not next week. I'm very concerned that Jack's going to die.
So you think they may just get one or the other?
Well, I remember I said like a while ago I thought one of the
Jack or
threesome is going to
Anne,
die,
yeah.
and that would be devastating if Jack dies.
I think he might.
You think Jack's going to die?
Because it's like he... Okay, because I don't think that if the Spanish gets their hands on him, they're not going to be like, oh, now you're just our prisoner. They're killing him.
Yeah.
To set an example. You don't steal from us, sort of thing. You know, they're not just going to...
Spain does not mess around.
No.
They're scary.
And I feel like it's going to be some epic, like, move on Jack's part to, like, help secure a win for our pirate squad by, like, sacrificing himself in some way.
Well, we also... I'm going to look up how Jack Rackham, because he's a real-life human being, I'm going to see how he died in real life.
But what may happen is during the interception of Jack and the gold, it may be one or the other they're actually able to grab. And at the time, maybe Flint is like, hey, we're going to grab the gold, because in typical Flint character...
Yeah, Flint's not choosing Jack over the gold.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that
Vane
type of decision...
might.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just having this picture of Anne in my head just, like, crying and, like, her dying as well, or something like that after seeing Jack go. But I think there may be a decision that has to be made, like, very quickly, right in that moment.
Right.
And I feel like they're going to take the gold over Jack, so...
Yeah.
But
really?
I don't know. It's hard to make predictions right now because we all know what's coming. We all know that a big
People
fight...
are going to die.
The big fight's coming. Someone's going to die, but other than that, it's like...
I think
there's nothing really romantically to predict at all
somebody
anymore.
that we love, like one of our, like, you know, pirate crew that we really like is gonna
our boys
die.
One of our boys. Yeah.
What? Oh no, Keetin. What?
I don't know. I mean, they could play it out that he does die, or they could not. That's not. You know, obviously they've taken a lot of liberties with history, but they could. I don't know. They could.
Tell us.
Okay, so I mean, the way it said, when the affair between Rackham and Anne Bonny became public, the governor of the new province threatened to have Anne whipped for her adultery. Rather than leave Anne behind to be flogged, the pair resolved to assemble a crew and steal a sloop. Fearing the crew would refuse to sail alongside a woman, Anne dressed up as a man and took the name Adam Bonny. She became a respected member of the crew and fought alongside her male counterparts in numerous successful engagements. After several of the Bahamas sent out heavily armed ships to capture them, Rackham and a few of his crew were forced to flee. They were subsequently captured by a Spanish ship, but managed to escape sailing around Jamaica and taking possession of several fishing vessels and a sloop. The governor resolved to capture Rackham and dispatched the pirate hunter Captain Barnett, who pursued the captain and them. It is reputed that Rackham had earlier tried to strike a deal with the governor under which he would surrender himself of clemency. He was given basically
crazy stuff.
Basically, him and his crew were brought to trial in Jamaica, and they were found guilty and hung the next day.
Wow.
So who knows?
Who could? But it was the
Something could
Spanish
happen.
that did get him. The Spanish ended up getting him. So if he's being turned over to the Spanish,
guys,
he could be destroyed.
It could happen.
Crazy things.
So that about does it for this week. We are in for some exciting stuff next week and the next few weeks. Thank you guys all out there for tuning in tonight. Thanks to everyone in the chat who's been chatting and those of you who've just been watching as well. And you can also tweet to us during the week about what you think about the episode, all that stuff. I'm Lauren Salaun. You can find me everywhere on social media at Lauren Salaun.
I'm Nadine Della Pelle. You can find me at Nadine, DP and the number 3.
And I'm Keetin Marchi. You can find me at Keetin Marchi all over the interwebs.
Awesome. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.